Hello and welcome back to Peasant Level Crafting. This week we're going to make good on what we've been putting in our tags for the past 6 episodes and actually build some Warhammer terrain. But first, the prize winner for the brushes donated by bolterbunny.com. So here's everyone who entered, and I'm just going to put them in a hat, but oh no, I'm not wearing a hat. What can I use? What can I use? Oh, Master Chief? Oh, Stormtrooper? Stormtrooper? Master Chief? Master Chief. Hey! 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 Hey, could you pick one of these for me? Pretty please? Who is it gonna be? And there we go. Hey, thanks to everyone who entered. You guys keep me going. So I have a lot of armies in Warhammer, and it's hard to pick out one, but let's face it, I'm a peasant level crafter. And the closest thing in Warhammer to peasant level crafting is orcs. Well, what do I have to use? I don't have a lot of stuff. I basically just have the stuff I used before. I've got that foam I found. I've got the box from the Wizard's Tower, the Crooked Tower. Got some sheeting. Got some oats. Okay, I can do this. Let's build a gatehouse, and that way it'll be like the centerpiece of the orc wall. We can make more later. So Bolter Bunny has been really great to us here on this channel. On the 1,000 subscriber mark, they gave us a special new code. It's PSNT1000. That's Peasant 1000 to celebrate our 1,000 subscribers. And they're also giving us a new deal, and that is if you order GW product off their website, they will give you 15% off. And they will also send a bag of 50 free skulls. Now, if you're like me and you've bought the Warhammer skulls before, they're so expensive. I mean, and skulls are so useful for miniature basing and building terrain. Any order over 50 and they'll send you 50 free skulls. The first 20. I believe you can also just buy the skulls. If not right now, you can soon, and they're high quality and they're so much less expensive. So, I mean, if you've ever wanted your demon lord standing on a literal pile of skulls, well, we gotcha. bolterbunny.com. Okay, that's enough pimping the sponsor. Right now we're going to use the cross-stitching mesh, and we're going to use that as kind of a metal grate. That's going to go over the top. We'll use a lot of this. Orcs love their scrap. I use hot glue and super glue for the majority of this build. You'll catch me using PVA once, and I didn't like it and used hot glue again. Especially when dealing with something with a smooth finish like the cross stitch, you're going to want to use hot glue. Right now I'm just making a little frame. And this is kind of keep the grading separate. I honestly was kind of torn over whether or not to do this. I mean, do orcs frame their stuff in? Oh, and another thing. When using your glue gun, if you have the option, put it on low heat. Don't do what I did and burn great gaping holes into your foam. So this is an old trick, and I have no idea who came up with it first, but you pull apart single corrugation cardboard. You take the smooth paper off each side, and you get something that, when painted silver, looks very much like corrugated roofing material. And that's just the kind of scrap that an orc would nail up in inappropriate places. So, yeah, just pull apart some cardboard. Learning from my mistakes in the Crooked Tower, I built the gate out of wood. This is the runners that the gate is going to move up and down in, and these are going to be 3 coffee stirrers high, and then over that I'm going to put a popsicle stick. Now this is, I say I learned, but I actually left it to dry overnight closed, and now it's painted shut, so, you know, for value of learning. I mean, I could probably get it open again, eventually. I just have to cut at it or something. Anyway. Okay, I'm going to be using more cross-stitching mesh, hey, I said it right that time, as the basis of the gate. To me, this stuff has always looked like a portcullis, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and measure it and cut it out. Hope for the best. That's pretty wobbly, so I'm going to use some of the coffee stirrers. I still have about half a coffee cup full of these things. So, yeah, just put one on all 4 sides. Well, that's a mighty gate that is. Now Yumi's gonna get in here. Okay, so I'm just going to take the sharp end of this file and carve some lines into the wood for painting later. And I'd probably shouldn't attempt to do a British orc voice again. That didn't go well. So I kind of wanted this canopy to build things up. I only have popsicle sticks and coffee stirrers though. So what I'm going to do is kind of make like half I-beams and just kind of just slap it together. And you know, this is one of the great things about working on orc terrain when you're a peasant level crafter is, no, I didn't screw up. It's orky. It's catch-all. It's fantastic. So the main majority after you get the base down is just to keep adding bits. I used bits I got from the dollar store from something called Final Faction. It's this vaguely G.I. Joe-like sci-fi toy line. I spent about $2 there. I used a bit from that in here. I used a bit from the back of, I think it was a glue stick. Yeah, just lots of little things. Orc terrain is chaotic and it's haphazard, and yeah, you can actually just kind of let yourself go and a little bit here and a little bit there and then layer things, and then it's actually a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do. Let's use a little more of that corrugation there. Some peasant's roof blew off or caught it. And here it goes. And I'm melting into the thing again. Great. When just splodging your glue stick everywhere to make all these different media stick together, you will get weird spots where the glue leaks out. Just take your X-Acto knife and trim it off. A little bit of roof. I figured orcs just go mad with like spot welders or TIG welders or whatever they use in the grim dark or the far future, because there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just, you know, roof here. Well, why use one piece when you can use two? Here's that Final Faction stuff I bought at the dollar store. Like I said, I spent about $2. Got some usable bits. That helmet there. And I also, the reason I bought it was for this thing. There was this Gatling gun in there. And, you know, it's not high quality. It's certainly not up to GW standards, but it is a recognizable Gatling gun. And, you know, with a little shading, it'll probably look pretty good. So that's most of it roughed in. Little bits here, little bits there, and that's a lot of glue stuck to me. So I hope no one's offended by this, but I do go shooting every now and then, just target, I'm not a hunter. But I have these bullet casings, and I thought they're basically just brass tubes, and they could be used for shell casing for like Astra Militarum, or they could be used for pillars, and that's what I used them for here, little 22. So here's another piece from that final faction set. This was some sort of sky sled, and it had this little turbine piece. And it came in a 4, like 4 turbines. But I clipped this one off, cleaned it up, and put it on the top of a glue stick cap that was from a used up glue stick. And to me, it looked like a turbine. Turbine. Turbine's the thing you wear on your head. This looked like a turbine. Linguistic faux pas aside, I thought this turned out really nicely. Apparently, orcs are into wind power. So this is from an old broken necklace that some ex-girlfriend abandoned here. I'm not even sure it was one of mine. I have roommates. Anyway, so it's really thin, and I use it all the time for chain. So I cut a couple lengths. I put one on the door, one just kind of hanging as like a cool means up and down. And yeah, I thought they improved the look of the piece tremendously. So I'm showing this cheap craft paint because I didn't want you to know that I ran out of black spray paint. You have to have black spray paint to spray the cross-stitching mesh. Nothing else will stick. But I didn't want you to see that I was using my super expensive GW spray paint that I got years ago. So yeah. That's not pictured, and it will never be. Didn't happen. Can't prove anything. I don't remember who said it in a comment, and I'm really sorry, but someone did say when I was having trouble with the cheap silver craft paint that go over black and it'll work better. Looking at this, totally did. Thank you, whoever you are. I'm going to be using copper on all the cross-stitching mesh. Okay, I wanted those top plates to be rusty, so I went over the initial red with a yellow, and it almost looks rusty. Everything else I painted in a dark blue, and I think it's going to look pretty good once I wash it. I have some thoughts about rivets too. We'll see. So I ran a line from the turbine down to the Gatling cannon, and I didn't have any wire in the house. All I had was this piece of string, so I painted it red, and hopefully it looks like a wire. It doesn't really, but you know, hope for the best. Here I just took some more of the silver in my favorite little brush, and just started nicking everything to try and show some wear and tear where the paint had run off. I eventually grabbed my big brush and just went at the whole piece this way. Bonus points if you caught that was Sharp's rifles in the back. I like that show. A tragedy that has never befallen me is about to ensue. Instead of using a homemade wash, I used my precious Agrax Earthshade, a magnificent color from GW, and I spilled it. Because life is cruel like that. But never daunted, never give up, never surrender. I'm just going to use that very expensive spill right there and just slop it all over everything. This will be the most washed piece ever. And I think that's eventually why the door didn't open, because I used too much wash and everything swelled and I left the door in while I was trying, so... What's this? Could it be a bag of 50 free skulls from bolterbunny.com? You bet your sweet batucus it is. And I used 3 of them. I put them on top of the wind turbine. And honestly, they look great. 3D printing has come a long time, and I like the file that Bolter Bunny developed, and it looks good. And just the ability to always have skulls around is very nice for a terrain builder. So again, if you haven't gone yet, bolterbunny.com. One final pimp of these skulls. I didn't base them. They didn't get any kind of spray paint, just, fresh from Bolter Bunny. I just hit them with some white craft paint and then gave them a quick hit of Agrax, and they look fantastic. There was no residue or anything like that. So here I'm going to go over all the pieces of blue sheet metal and just add rivet marks. I'm just going to load up the end of my brush and just tap it at a 90-degree angle to the piece. And that'll hopefully leave a nice rivet mark. Just washing the skulls here. So seeing as how this project had already cost me so much in wash, I decided to use some other wash. I had the Beal Tan Green. It's a very bright green, and I thought the copper would rust and tarnish and oxidize and leave green behind. So I used a lot of it, and I think it looks okay. I might have wanted to go with the camo ammo shade or whatever it's called. That might have been a little more toned down, but I think it looks pretty good. So how does an orc get you to walk into their lair? Well, I think they make a very friendly sign, advertising good food, good companionship, and the fact that they are kind and welcoming orcs. And then they write it on the ceiling of their death trap. Welcome in, humans. We got good food here. Just inquire below. I know, I promised. I'm sorry. And there it is, one orc gatehouse, the Gates of WAAAAAGH. Hopefully you like this build. I guarantee you have the stuff sitting around your house to make it. So if you want some orc terrain, here you go. Doing this for 6 episodes in a row has made me realize that I need a mechanical turner thing. Okay, that's enough pimping the sponsor. So what we're doing here is we're using the cross-stitch mat. God, why can I never say that? It's in so many bloopers. Cross-stitch. Fuck. Cross-stitching. Cross-stitching mesh. Cross-stitching mesh. Cross-stitching mesh. I got it.